Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I was bored, and my friend Tony doesn't have his live stream tonight. I just hope he's okay. So I decided I'll maybe not fill in because I can never fill in because Tony is Tony. I'm me. But hey, I'm here. Maybe somebody will join at some point. Oh yeah, I think it was last night. Was it last night or the night before? It's been raining for 2 days. Like I mean, raining there. We're talking serious rain. Okay, and then it stopped raining. But it's I can hurt. I have a trouble sleeping, so I'm. It's like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm sitting at the computer, and I hear this big truck slowly passing in front of here. I said, "What? At 2:30 in the morning?" And it's really loud. So I stand up. I go check. It's it's guys that work for the city that are watering the plants because they have plants that are hanging from in baskets from light posts and everything. They are watering the plants. It's been raining for 2 fucking days. There we go. Let's waste some money. Let's put somebody on flower uh, wedding duty and pay him to do something that he doesn't have to do because it's been raining for the past 2 days. So I don't know. Maybe it's me, but I think it's a waste of money, a waste of resources. They could have been doing something else. I mean, the plants really didn't need any water. They put up little baskets of flowers outside on my porch, and the lady downstairs, she's the one who comes and she waters them, and she didn't come to water them today. She didn't have to. I mean, it's been raining for 2 days, and I mean raining. So I don't. But I started the day on the right foot. I had myself a McCafe or McCoffee in English and a sausage McMuffin. That hit the spot. Yeah, that really hit the spot. That was like it's been a while. It's been a while since I had, and usually I used to get, and in those days there was only the egg McMuffin, so I get one of those, and oh, shit, I was like what 18, 19 years old. How's it going, my friend? That's new profile picture of me and my new baby granddaughter. Ooh, congratulations, Robert. Congratulations. Hey, Grandpa. Grandpa Robert. Or Gramps. Yeah, so this morning was egg McMuffin, but when I was like what 18, I worked at a parts department in a Chev dealer in Ottawa, and sometimes we'd work on Saturday, but like till from 7 till noon, and then we were up. But it was like once a month or something like that, or once every 2 weeks. So when it was my turn to work on Saturday, I'd go to McDonald's. I'd pick up uh, two large coffees, two egg McMuffins, and four hash browns. And four hash browns. And one egg McMuffin was for my supervisor. Well, my senior employee, because I was considered a runner. I would get the parts in the bins and get the orders ready. So, anyways, uh, I would get like the order of two egg McMuffins and four hash browns. One egg McMuffin and one coffee would go to my supervisor, the oldest employee, and the other egg McMuffin and the four hash browns would be mine. And I remember one of my the older employees, Brian, would say, "Where do you put all that stuff?" Because I ate the four hash browns, the four patties. Say what? He says you're the size of a fucking uh, hockey stick. I said, "Yeah, well, hey, it goes somewhere because I'm hungry and I eat them, and maybe it's all that running around that you make me do." He could never understand why I could eat like four hash browns and an egg McMuffin and still be able to walk. But he was like on the fat side. So, and I remember one weekend, I forgot that I was working on Saturday, and I went to a friend's campground, and we had a party that night. And I remember I had this box that I had made. It was a box with two Craig 6x9 two-way speakers. A I can't remember if it was a Techniques or a Kenwood AM/FM cassette player, a car cassette player, and I had a like a converter from 12 volt to 110, and I had the option of being 110 or 12 volt because there was a switch that I could move from one to the other, and I had both wires coming out. One was a thing that you put in your lighter, and the other one was the one that you put in the wok. And we had plugged my boom box in one of the cars that were there, and we had one hell of a party. There was this creek. It was like a small creek. I mean, it's about this wide, and there's about this much water, and about I don't know this deep, but just enough that you put your beer in there, and it was cold water. So your beer was like really cold. And in those days, we had the fatties. So you could stuff a lot of the fatties in there. So we drank all evening long and we smoked and all that. I wake up the next day, my boom box is outside. There are no cars or trucks or whatever within eyesight. Everybody's gone except me, the owner of the camp. So I said, okay, well, what the hell? We'll wait. Somebody will come and pick us up. They have to. And we didn't have any cell phones. So at some point, someone came back. It was around 11 o'clock or something like that. They came back. They picked us up. They dropped me off at home. They helped me with the boom box, and I brought it upstairs and I put it on the porch. And I go inside, and my mom says, "Finally, the phone's been ringing all morning. There's somebody at the job that's calling for you. He's looking for you. He's pissed off." Why would he be pissed off? It's not my day to work. He says, yeah. She says, yeah, it's your day to work. What? And then I thought about it and I said, oh, fuck. I forgot it was my day to work. Yeah, yeah. When I ordered uh, sausage McMuffin and the coffee this morning, it cost me $19. One large coffee. Actually, I have it here. One large coffee and two sausage McMuffin, and it cost me $19. So anyways, I go to work on Monday, and the guy that I was supposed to work with on Saturday was a real, I'm sorry to say, asshole. And as soon as I walked up at the front, because I was working at the, I knew I was going to work at the back counter for the mechanics with Gilles. As soon as I walked up front, he stands up and he starts wailing on me, and like he really is pissed off, and he's yelling at me, blah blah blah. You, where the fuck were you on Saturday? I was all alone, blah blah blah. I had to get my own parts. First of all, I've seen some of the guys up front on the phone get their own parts because I'm busy getting parts for someone else. So there's no reason for him not to get his own parts, because on Saturday we weren't that busy. We were open as a service and we weren't that busy. You didn't really need two people there. You probably were best to have two people there, for someone can, like, while the other one is being attacked, someone can pick up the phone and call 911 or the cops or whatever. So I think it was more for that than anything else, because one person could handle Saturdays by themselves, no problem, because there were no drivers anyway. They had to come and pick up their parts. So if they couldn't make it by before noon, they were fucked. So we could prepare their orders for Monday or something like that, no problem. But if they wanted them right now, they had to come and pick them up. And most of the time, they didn't want to do that. They'd prepare order for Monday. And all we had to do is pick the parts, put them together, place them in one of the cubicles in the back for the delivery guys, and everything was printed out, where they were going, That's where they're going. Send it there. And then the drivers would see the sheet. Ah, okay, let's go. We're taking this. We're going there. We're going there. We're going there. Okay, let's go. They drive off and they deliver it. So now, but this guy was like, he was really pissed off. But the manager, he was like in a little cubicle that had plexiglass from 4 feet and up, like this. And he was behind the plexiglass. But he heard the older guy wailing at me and yelling at me and giving me shit and whatever. So he stands up, he walks to his door, he opens his door, he calls me in the office. Okay. So he calls me in the office. So I go into his office, the manager's office, says, "What the hell's going on? Why is he yelling at you?" I said, Saturday, I forgot that Saturday I was working. I didn't show up because I forgot that I was supposed to work. I was at a party on Friday night. When I woke up Saturday morning, there were no vehicles around. I was alone with one of my friends at his campsite, and there was nobody there. There are no cars. And I'm on foot, and it's like 10 miles from where I live. So even if I tried to walk, I wouldn't get to my place before noon, anyways. So, anyways, he said, "Really? Okay, go back to work. I'll deal with this." So I go back to the counter and I'm talking with Jill, and he's showing me something in the books because there's a lot of things that I didn't know when it comes to parts, and he was training me at the same time. The manager stands up, goes to his door, and he calls in the old guy. And I could hear him. He starts wailing on that old guy. "You're not gonna treat him like shit. It was an honest mistake. And if you don't stop yelling at him, I am going to fire you on the spot." And we heard that. Me and Jill, we heard that, and our heads turned. He's gonna fire him? Because he was like one of the oldest guys there in the parts department. So you stop yelling at him, and I'm gonna fire you right now. So you better tell me where you stand. And he never answered. So he said, "That's fine. Pack up your stuff. You're fired." And he was fired right then and there. Oops. So my boss went to bat for me. I thought that was kind of cool, especially since I had never missed a day, and I was there for what, 4 years? Yeah, 4 years. And when I left on a motorcycle. I had a Honda 450 Nighthawk, 1982. It was black with a chrome stripe on the side. And later on, I got it repaint, and I had there's you can buy little pins that it's an eagle with the name of the either Honda or Suzuki or Yamaha. There's a little clasp underneath where the eagle is holding on to that clasp, and the name is underneath. Well, I got that eagle painted on my gas tank, and I had a little mini fairing up front. I think the name of the company that made the fairing was Shoei. Same company that made the helmets. Even though it was just a two-cylinder, I liked my motorcycle. The only thing I didn't like is that when I got to a corner, I had to stop or a red light. My feet were barely touching the ground. It was so high that my feet were barely touching the ground. I know that when I bought that motorcycle, I should have bought, instead of a 450, I should have bought the 650 Nighthawk because it was only like $400 more in those days. And I got a four-cylinder instead of a two, but it was a 4-in-4, four exhaust pipes, two on each side. And that motorcycle was gorgeous. Actually, let me see if I can find an image. 1982 Honda Nighthawk 6.5. Oh, let's see if we can get. There we go. Yeah. Do I have a nice picture or what? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Let's share this image. Let's go here. Share screen. There we go. Share this. Yeah. This is the motorcycle that I should have got instead of my 450. That bike was gorgeous, and it was you get to a stop sign, and you had your knees were bent, and your feet were touching the ground, so you were not on the edge of tipping over or anything like that. You were really comfortable. That's the motorcycle I should have got. And if ever I win the lottery, I'm gonna get one just to have one. I'm gonna find one and I'm gonna get it just to have one. Because that for me, that motorcycle is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Yeah, that was my dream motorcycle. The 750 was even better looking, but it was a little bit more intimidating. But then again, a friend of mine had a 900 custom, a Honda 900 custom, 1982, and that one had 10 speeds, five low and five high. And I think on third speed low, I could easily hit 70 miles an hour. So I mean, can you imagine going all the way up to 10? I mean, the revs on the bike would have been like fucking a thousand revolutions a second or something like that, instead of like 8,000 or 10,000, like those cafe racers. I mean, the revs would have been super low, and I mean, you're really cruising. But I drove that, and at one point I was working in this motorcycle shop in my hometown, Landry Sport Motorisé. That's what it was called. And we had just gotten a new mechanic in the back. His name was Eric, and he had a gold wing Aspen cave, which was like top of the line, the best of the best. I mean, we are talking AM, FM, cassette, radio, stereo speakers, saddlebags, rear trunk, uh, air suspension. I mean, the freaking works. So I would always leave I think my lunch break was 11:30 till 12:30. So I would always leave at 11:30, and everybody could see me. I was eating my sandwiches on my way out because instead of going home, which was like a block away, I would go maybe have a beer at the pub or just go meet some friends. And there was a school park not far away with the church. So I go there and then we'd meet up. So before I leave, he says, "Hey, Jean," he says, "Here, try my bike." I said, "What?" He said, "Try my bike." I said, "You nuts? I only drive a 450. Ah, it's a bike. Try it." Okay. So I eat my sandwich. I go in the back. I hop into his bike. Backing it up was one thing. So then I leave. I said, "Oh my God, this thing is easier to drive than mine." So I'm driving around the town. And I said, where could I go? I mean, I've got an hour, close to an hour. Oh yeah, go see my friend in Masso. So turn around and I go up Main Street and go up to Masso to where my friend is working at a gas station. His gas station. I parked right in front of the window. So I'm not in the way of any cars that want to go use the gas pumps or anything like that, but I'm right in front of his window. And he sees me getting off this bike. He comes outside and said, "What the fuck are you doing with that?" I tell him, I said, "I bought it." He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah. What do you think? Is it too big?" "You bought this." I said, "Nah, Mario, I didn't buy this." Our mechanic, it's his bike. He lent it to me. Really? Yeah. How does it drive? It drives like a. I don't want my bike anymore. I want his. That was a problem. When you drove a better bike than yours, then you regretted buying yours, which was my problem. After I tried a better bike, I was never happy with mine. It didn't matter how many modifications I made to it. It was still a two-cylinder. It was still too high when I stopped at a corner. So, but I sold it for almost the same price as when I bought it. I think I remember I sold it for $1,600 and I paid 18 for it. Oh. And the worst part is if I had paid 2,200, I would have gotten that 650. Dumbass. Yeah, I should have paid the 2,200 and gotten myself a 650. I'd probably still have it. It's because of the size I am. I don't need a very powerful bike to go fast enough to follow the big boys. Because I even think that 650 had a 6 speed transmission. Uh, hey, thanks for joining, Robert. Tuck them in for me as well. Give them kisses, big hugs. Come by anytime, my friend. Yeah. So yeah, after you try a better bike, you're fucked. So that's the hook. Like in hook, line, and sinker. Well, that's the hook. You try a better bike than yours, your bike doesn't feel right afterwards. I mean, I really should have bought that 650. But like I said, if I win the lottery, I bought a ticket. If I win the lottery, I am going to buy my dream bike, Honda 1982 Honda 650 Nighthawk. I'll buy it. I'll buy it in black, just like my Nighthawk 450 in black. I think it was black, but it was like green metal plate, dark green, forest green metal plate. Because when you looked at it a certain way, you could see the flake was green inside the paint, but it was black. When you stood a little a ways back, it was black. So, but if the sun shined on it a certain way, you could see that there was green metal flake in there. It was a really nice bike. And the 650 was nice because it was like four cylinder, 4x4. So that's four exhaust pipes, two on either side. Everything was balanced. It took me a while to accept like Harleys or Indians with the pipe like two in one on one side. There's no pipe on one side. There's one on the other. It took me a while to accept that. Yeah, it took me a while to accept that. The two in one on just one side. What? Why don't you just put like the two and two? It looks better. And then they started the two and two, but instead of having the two pipes, one on one side, one sticking out on the other, they do both on one side, and then they route a pipe and then come out on the second side. So only the muffler was so the muffler part, the rear end part was balanced visually. But the engine part, there was still one part of the engine that had no pipes and one part of the engine that had all the pipes. So again, it took me a while to navigate myself around that. But I miss those days. It was fun. I couldn't drive a motorcycle today unless it was a trike. And I mean like one wheel up front, two wheels in the back. Not those, what they call them. I think it's spiders with two wheels up front there. What I call a skidoo with wheels, because that's what they look like, a skidoo with wheels. Unless it's a T-Rex. If it's a T-Rex, two wheels up front and one wheel in the back, that one looks like a Formula One car with only one wheel in the back. And you got two seats side by side. Yeah, that one looks like a Formula One car. That's that one. And I'd probably get one of those. If I won the lottery, I'd probably get one of those just to have it. But one thing's for sure is I'd have a party at my place, and during that party, we'd do a live stream, and I'd invite and pay for my comic book friends, some of my comic book friends, to fly over to my place, and I'd have hotel rooms for them already reserved, already paid for. All they have to do is shuttle back there. I'd have a shuttle service to bring them back. I know I'd love to have my comic book community friends over to my place, barbecue, beer, drinks, some music, and a live stream. Anyways, I think everybody's gone, so I'm gonna skedaddle. Thank you everyone for joining. Don't work too hard. Have a nice weekend. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. You might hit a bump and spill your glass. Peace. Live long and prosper.